Last Thoughts 2. Once Upon a Perfect Pancake. 7 days ago. With the Glitters vehicle upside down and airborne, its engine screaming in the red, another rarity occurred. Chelsea and both her parents remembered the Saturday after her 5th birthday, a morning when she and Thomas made up a story about a wetland frog standing up to a forest monster. 8 years ago. "You're making frogs, Daddy, and they're jumping." Chelsea, in pajamas and a single blue slipper, pointed at green pegs on a pinboard in front of her barefoot, t-shirt and black slacks father. They lay on the carpet, surrounded by dolls, toy cars, picture books and toy animals, including the few days old Mrs. L, watching from the bed. Some of the toys were small, hard and pointed. For instance, a carpet-colored doll's tiara. The bruise under Thomas's foot evidence of its viciousness. Mr. Whisker's kitten tail snaked from under the rumpled duvet. "My froggies jump, jump, jump," said Thomas, lifting his pinboard up and down. Chelsea brushed a blonde curl from her forehead to behind an ear. Her eyes almond-shaped like her father's and emerald like her mother's. "Mrs. L wants to watch." She jumped onto her bed, and Mr. Whiskers evacuated himself into the hallway, shaking his head. Chelsea plonked the fluffy bird down next to her pinboard. Net curtains billowed with Saturday spring air, fresh as Chelsea's chuckles. Sunlight, branches and leaves slow danced shadow patterns in the room. "Ribbit, ribbit," Thomas's eyes twinkled. "The froggies live in a wetland and swim in a pond where—" "What's a wetland?" "Well, what do you think, girl?" "Professor Glitter," Audrey leaned against the doorframe with her fingers wrapped around a mug. "Isn't 5 years a little young for university-style questioning?" "Hey! I'm almost 6. Chelsea counted 5 fingers and a thumb. "You've just turned 5, love." Audrey smiled. "You haven't even finished your cupcakes." "Yep," Thomas said, hugging the toy bird. "Who arrived on your birthday?" "Mrs. Owl. That's who. And I want 5 cupcakes for breakfast." The mother raised an eyebrow and took a sip. 1 cupcake at tea time. The girl frowned, comparing an index finger to 5. "I want 2 new puppy dogs, Mommy." Chelsea advanced their negotiations toward the late Dogberry's replacements. Your Aunt Anne left a message about a batch of Jack Russells in their neighborhood." "Yay! I want bats." "Batch, Munchkin. I said batch. Newborn puppy dogs." "Oh, I want 2 newborn bat puppies." "You'll get 2 puppy dogs," Audrey smiled, holding up 2 fingers. "Looking well rested, Mrs. Glitter," Thomas buzzed. "Chelsea's ready for university, hey girl?" "Yep, UV Nurse City." Chelsea fished red pegs from the container and pinned them onto her board. "Do you know what a wetland is, Munchkin?" Audrey blew over her steamy beverage. Maybe it's land that's wet?" Her parents burst out laughing. Chelsea snorted, sticking out her tongue, pulled up her nose and bobbed her head left and right. "Perfect answer, girl," Thomas said. "I want a sister from your tummy, Mommy." "Only 6 more months, then we'll see the surprise, okay?" "Yippee! Only 6 months," Chelsea said. "How long is that?" "Mommy's belly is a lucky packet," Thomas said. "Lucky belly," giggled Chelsea. Daughter and father high-fived, re-entering their wetland story world. 2 weeks later, Audrey would lose her unborn baby, her first of 4 miscarriages. 6, sometimes long years into the future, Felix Glitter would see the light of day, 11 months before the Glitters' perfect storm. Back to that Saturday morning 8 years ago, Chelsea's pregnant mother sang Edelweiss from The Sound of Music in her mezzo-soprano voice. Chelsea joined like a bubbling brook, and Thomas buzzed a baritone contribution. I want a brother baby from your tummy, Mommy. I'm making a red monster. Ooh, sounds dangerous. Audrey widened her eyes. My monster will eat all your froggies, Daddy. Rah! Chelsea grinned, exposing 2 rows of pearls. The milk-teeth monster, Thomas patted her head. He's gonna eat all your froggies right now. Rah! I'm hungry. I'll start breakfast. Audrey faded down the passage and followed the story from the kitchen. You're serious about this monster of yours, aren't you? Said Thomas. Yep. Rah! Chelsea's hands became claws. We have brave frogs in this wetland, Thomas countered. They'll stand up against your monster. Froggies can't stand, Daddy. They can only jump and swim and sit in a muddy puddle. We'll see about that. Wait, what's your monster's name? Tyron. Yes, I hate Tyron. What's Tyron done this time? He threw sand in my hair and then I hated him more. Rah! Why did he do that, Chelsea Bun? Index finger on her lips. Maybe because I smashed my sandwich in his face, came the doe-eyed reply. It was fish paste, and I don't really like fish paste. She batted her eyelids. Okay, Tyron it is then, chuckled Thomas. Our monster's name is Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, Tyrannosaurus is going to eat all your frogs. Rah! The red pinboard monster moved closer, powered by a blonde curly head. Let me first tell you about a girl frog that's shy and brave. Thomas conjured a hero. A girl frog? Yes, and her name is Anna. Anna hopped closer to Tyrannosaurus. Anna wears big glasses. Chelsea put on thumb and index finger glasses. Oh yes, round glasses, like your Aunt Anne. Aunt Anne is a teacher at the big school. Indeed, she loves teaching children about frogs. The red pins hovered above Thomas's frogs. Tyron's gonna step on you, Anna, until you're flat. Rah! Oh no, not this Anna. She's shy and brave, remember? I'm gonna make you flat, Anna, and put you on my sandwich. Rah! Aha, let's call her Flat Anna, the rainbow tree frog. Ooh, I want to see the rainbow tree, Daddy. Me too. Let's make a rainbow tree and a pond. Chelsea stripped a multicolored dress off a doll and put it on the floor. It's a magic rainbow tree. Lovely. Thomas ripped the blue slipper from Chelsea's foot, tickled her, and she giggled like a breakfast bell. Here's our pond, he said. Rah! I'm hungry. I'm angry. You are my breakfast, froggies. Please no, please don't. The frogs jumped left, right, up into the air and everywhere. Flat Anna hopped closer to Tyrannosaurus. Tyron, would you like some pizza for your hunger zone? Rah! Pizza! With lots of cheese and froggy slime. It's a winner every time. Froggy slime? Chelsea pulled a broccoli face. Ew. Thomas shifted Tyron back to Chelsea. Okay, let's start again. Once upon a time there was a wetland, forest and farms. One sunny day, Tyrannosaurus came crashing from the forest, trapping the frogs. He ate all the frogs. Rah! No, wait, first Flat Anna hopped closer. Tyron, would you like some pizza for your hunger zone with lots of cheese and froggy slime? It's a winner every time. Rah! Pizza! Tyron agreed to come back for pizza the next day and returned to the forest for the night. The next morning, the frogs got ingredients from the neighboring farms. They baked a pizza with rainbow tree firewood, filled a frog slime balloon with magic gas from the tree, and folded the pizza around it. The magic gas would make Tyron drift away forever. Before breakfast on that spring Saturday, Flat Anna's magic gas-filled pizza had saved the wetland. just in time for buttered pancakes with grated cheddar and strawberry jam in the Glitters' sunny kitchen. "Rah! We're done, Daddy! Race you to the kitchen." After breakfast, Audrey and Chelsea sketched the scenes the daughter and father team had conjured, while Thomas washed the dishes. Then he read the morning paper with brewed black coffee and practiced UN Owen Was Her on their grand piano. It was morning, and it was evening, and it was a good Saturday. Almost 8 years before Death would come knocking on the Glitters' door with Miss Hugan on his shoulder and a rusted scythe in hand. And thus the end of chapter 2 of Chelsea Glitter and the Graveyard on the Hill. Make the most of your day now.